How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Monday. It is the big thing. It is the big thing live. Me and John Rocha. And man, is there tons. There's always tons of stuff to talk about with Rocha on Mondays. That's why we do it on Mondays. And some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, obviously, as you saw, Paramount and Skydance finally come to agreement. It's going through. What does this mean for the business overall? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We'll discuss that. We'll also discuss the fact that we just saw Agatha, the first trailer for this show, which we didn't know what the tone exactly would be. I think we got more of an idea of it. Not sure what John thought of it. I'll give my thoughts again with that. I'm going to guess that we both thought that episode 4 of House of the Dragon was pretty damn good. We'll discuss that and give our thoughts, give you a warning because we might get into some spoilers for that particular episode. But again, we'll give you warnings once we get there. There's other things. Despicable Me. That movie was number 1. Are they happy with the numbers that it made? Inside Out 2, also doing very well. And there's a few other stories, man. There's stuff about Gladiator 2. That poster dropped today. The trailer's coming out tomorrow. John Cena's retiring. And it looked like Seth Rollins won the title with a 1-2-3. When people aren't kicking out, I don't care if you don't kick out or not. Well, he's supposed to kick out. He didn't. You ruin the angle and you're no longer champion. That's the way I look at it. But we'll see if John agrees. And I understand everything that happened with CM Punk and everything else too, that there's no world where they would have let that happen. Then kick out. Because we're in the big leagues here. I don't care if you get knocked out or not. Or if you're Seth Rollins, roll off of him. Because I've never seen anything like that. Well, we'll discuss. That and more. So hit the subscribe button. We've got tons of stuff going on. I mean, shit, tomorrow we got an interview with myself, Roxy, and comedian Sam Morrell, who's hot right now. He's got a brand new comedy special coming out. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for that. I'm going to see Fly Me to the Moon tonight. I've been out of the theater reaction for that. And the list goes on and on. Every day we're doing stuff here. And we got your super chats. There's tons of them already. So put your questions in there, and John and I will get to all of them. So it's myself and John Rocha. It is the big thing. You ready? Good. I'm glad you are. Me too. So here we go. Me, John Rocha, live. Oh, good. No logo. Ready? That's a logo you can't see. That's a logo you can't see. Just enjoy me with the logo you can't see. It's the logo you can't see. It's the logo you can't see. It's the logo you can't see. John Rocha is with me.
Oh,
you like
Big
that?
Ball's still the logo. I like that, JMB.
He's still the logo. He had a lot of appearances last week. Yeah, it's funny. That's the one thing I got to get used to with this new studio.
What's that?
I have to I have a drive that I have my logo on. Mm-hmm. That when you plug it in, and it pops right up. It's just the settings. But I take it home with me to make sure that in case I need it, I have any assets and stuff that I need if I'm doing anything that I have it. But I didn't plug the stupid thing in, and hence no logo. So there you go. Perfect. Anyway, how are you?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. Good weekend. Watched a little soccer, watched a little WWE, and just cleaned up around the garage and stuff. We had a spray for spiders and crickets. So the entire backyard, the entire garage, and the entire house. Because it's crazy. And then we discovered we have 3 possums.
Oh.
So we no longer have rats. Now we have 3 possums who are apparently killing the rats and then wandering around the back of the fence like they're going to do a fucking musical song from Over the Hedge or something. So, living out in the sticks. It's fun.
I've been there.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned Money in the Bank. Let's just start with that. Wow. Are you with me on that? Like the Damien, what's his face? Like you don't kick out, you lose the title.
I agree. I did a live watch along of it, so it's on my channel, and I reacted in the moment when I saw it. It was just a complete mess up on everybody involved. Like everybody. Like you're supposed to create fail safes and backup plans when big moments are supposed to happen. I agree with what you said. Either Seth should have picked him up if Priest was had a concussion and couldn't figure that out.
Is that what happened? He got knocked out?
That's some of the excuses are that he had a concussion and was kind of knocked out and Dizzy didn't know what to do. The ref should not have counted to 3 And then the music apparently hit wrong. So like it was whoever fucked up, it was a mess up all around. And unfortunately, it ruined a great moment because CM Punk coming down, messing with Drew again was awesome. And the title changing hands and then not changing hands, it kind of messed everything up. So, and then now it caused people to go like, well, do we even need Money in the Bank anymore? Do we even need the briefcase anymore? So to me, it was a kind of a bigger mess up than they're trying to claim it is.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that. It's just that it was. I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen that close. I mean, there's been mess ups like that, but that close, that's the most memorable one I've ever seen. And it's like, yeah, look, it's if he was knocked out or for whatever it was, and he didn't have his senses on him, it stinks. And then what you could try to do is rewrite it in the moment. You know, like have something where Seth's been doing this. Seth gets the title, Drew comes in. I don't know what it is, and and then you have Seth drop the title again to Damian the next night on Raw, if that's the case,
right?
And you can still have Drew cash in. If I'm sitting in the back, I'm going, and maybe he did. It's very well that Triple H said to the ref, you can't do that. Like his shoulders were down. You got to make the 3 because you can yell at the ref and say if his shoulders are down, he doesn't kick out. That looked terrible.
And the refs we know this, Kristian, from years of watching WWE, the ref has the earpiece in his ear. Right. So there is someone in gorilla position telling the ref what to do. In that moment, Triple H or whoever's in charge of the gorilla position should have said to the ref, give Seth the belt. We're going to improvise this situation and we'll figure our way out of it. But either way, McIntyre loses the briefcase, doesn't get the belt, and somehow Damian or Seth walk out with the belt. But we got to figure this out, and we'll clear it up on Raw.
I guess so, but I think the problem is who I blame in that situation.
Yeah,
I blame the ref.
Yeah, 100%.
I blame the ref because I think if you're the ref, you can come back and you can pin it on Damian and say to Triple H, he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" The guy didn't move his shoulders. Right. If I didn't count him, it would look ridiculous. I had to call it, and maybe he gets banned or fired or whatever he does. But he goes and he says on podcast, the guy's shoulders were down.
Yeah.
And in the long run, I'm wrong because he keeps his job. Right. And who knows who because overall I thought it was a pretty decent event. And so I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton won. The Braun Breaker stuff confused me.
Yeah, I understand because they're trying. I don't know. Sammy, he beat Gunther for the belt at WrestleMania, and now he's beaten another monolith. But Sammy is not who you're hanging the Federation on, right? I mean, Sammy's at the stage now where his job is to put people over. Yeah, win the occasional belt every once in a while, but it's not to not put people over. So I was always weird about this matchup from the beginning. Like, I didn't understand why you would put someone with a belt. What are you going to give Braun the belt already? The IC title already?
That would have been interesting. Why not? Give him a Goldberg type of run, but the problem for me is not that he didn't win it, but it was that Sammy won clean.
Sammy did win clean.
Yeah, that's that to me is why do you do that with a guy you're trying to look like this complete beast? Yeah. So I don't know. Overall, though, I mean, I was the one that I did tune into it. I hadn't tuned into stuff in a little bit. It was good to see Punk back, and their feud has been
my god
very well.
I can't wait.
Everybody's pumped for that one, so we'll see what
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the main event? Did you watch the main event?
Yeah, which is funny to me because to me, I felt like the main event was the one we just talked about. But the main event they're establishing the bloodline a lot more now, as you said. Like it turned out to was like who cares about these guys, but they're establishing themselves as kind of like the young blood, and now it builds up the Civil War really, really well when it finally happens, and then they're still feuding with Cody, and then when Roman comes back, and the stuff they did with Paul Heyman was very smart because everybody loves Paul Heyman whether he's bad or not, and by tossing him into the table, and Paul's so great, he can sell the shit out of it. So everything that he did was great.
Yeah, I thought the main event went off well for the most part. I mean, here's the irony. Solo is the least interesting part of the new bloodline. All these new guys are very fascinating. And as they get more and more exposure, I think a lot of people are going to come on board with this possibility down with Roman and the Usos reuniting against them. And who else is going to get involved? This is going to be all. And The Rock, I'm sure, will have a role to play. It's too big of a thing for him not to be involved in. He's just too tempted to be involved in it. So we'll see how that play. But I mean, Solo now, in a way, he's the leader, but he's less interesting, which is not the situation with Roman. So it's a fascinating thing when you look at the bloodline. And that one guy that they brought in who's got the criminal record, I mean, that is legitimate. He armed robbery at 18 years old, but here he is wrestling and part of the whole family. So the ball shot was a little confusing, but overall, I thought the match was a lot of fun. And so if you're new to these guys, this is a way to get them over. And I'm sure a majority of the fans are new to these guys. I think they acquitted themselves really well in the main event. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure you just got it too. The Deadpool Wolverine screenings are just now going.
Yes. Just confirmed it an hour ago. Yeah.
Interesting. So I'm trying to, I just got it. And exactly, it's hilarious. This morning, my wife and I were making plans because I need to do something for my daughter. And, and she's like, what about this date? And I go, well, the only problem is if the screening comes in for that movie, because I gotta cover it. I gotta cover that movie. And she's like, all right, well, what's the chances of it landing on a Monday? And it lands on a Monday. So, I'll tell her we got to reschedule. Anyway, okay, so let's get into this news about the Skydance stuff, man, because we've been going back and forth on it. We've been talking about it, so I think it's important to discuss just that. Jeez,
there you go.
Okay, so let's start it up. Skydance Paramount merger has indeed been announced. Coming in here from Dark Horizons, it's happening. David Ellison's Skydance Media has announced that they and its backers are going to invest $8 billion in a takeover of Paramount Global. Following approval on Sunday morning from a special committee of Paramount's board of directors, a subsequent vote from the full board okayed the plan, ending 7 months of long negotiations. The deal consists of a two-step transaction: the acquisition of Sherry Redstone's National Amusements Inc., which controls almost 80% of Paramount's voting shares, then a full merger. It will mark the first time that CBS, Nickelodeon, and Paramount Pictures have been in new hands since the 1980s. Striking while the iron is hot, Skydance issued a press release stating it will reposition Paramount to improve profitability, foster stability and independence for creators, and enable more investment in faster-growing digital platforms. Redstone herself says, given the changes in the industry, we want to fortify Paramount for the future while ensuring that content remains king. Our hope is that the Skydance transaction will enable Paramount's continued success in this rapidly changing environment. As a longtime production partner to Paramount, Skydance knows Paramount well and has a clear strategic vision and the resources to take it to its next stage of growth. We believe in Paramount, and we always will. Ellison will serve as chairman and CEO, and former NBC Universal chief Jeff Shell will lead the company as president. Due to regulatory approvals, the companies expect the deal to close in the first half of 2025. Till then, the current office of the CEO, consisting of executives Brian Robbins, George Cheeks, Chris McCarthy, will all continue operating business as usual until it closes. Okay, John, you hear all of that.
Yeah.
Well, what say you, my man?
Well, I mean, the reaction wasn't positive on Wall Street. I don't know if people saw that. The shares went down $3. A lot of the analysts were saying, hold your stock, don't buy the stock just yet. So that's a fascinating reaction. So I wonder if they don't have a lot of faith in the merger just yet. You're having a creative executive be in charge of a movie studio. It's been a while since that's happened. And of course, Skydance is one of the people I think that was one of the companies that was involved with Top Gun Maverick. So coming in here with Paramount, Tom Cruise just signed a big deal with Warner Brothers. Does he now move that deal or cancel that deal and move over to Paramount with Skydance? Does he sense maybe that's a better home for him? What's going to happen with Star Trek? What's this going to open the door to? And they clearly had to sweeten the deal for a lot of the investors and the stockholders. So they held out for a really sweet deal. I didn't think Sherry was going to do this for a very long time, and I thought she was just playing around until a bigger studio came in and took it over. But clearly, this is the way to go. Now the question is, what happens with the Paramount lot, which a lot of people were speculating might be shut down, and what happens with these properties like Star Trek and Top Gun and all these other IP that they have? Are they now going to go on a buying spree and try to acquire more IP now that they've got this capital from the Ellison family involved in Paramount? I think it's a great thing for Paramount, but if they make the right moves, because now they look like a conglomerate and a strong studio, So this is going to be interesting to see. And what happens to Paramount Plus? I think some questions as well.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it, because there was that report last week that they were talking about potentially merging Max with Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing that could happen, or probably not now?
Right.
Why would they, if they're part of the investment of what they're buying? And it looked like Skydance maybe wasn't going to happen. Maybe that was one of the things to maybe, make the deal go a little faster, to get that report out there. Maybe it was never going to happen in the first place. Maybe it still will happen because they want to license some stuff over and they get a little money out of the deal from Warner Brothers to do it. Who knows? It is a good thing that Paramount doesn't go down. And it looks to me, I look at this in a sports analysis, analogy, where it's just a team that was a very popular team, just sold the team to new owners.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really what it looks like. It looks like now the old owners, they're just not running the shop anymore. They want out. They're out, and now these hungry owners are going to try to do some new stuff with it, buying some IP, trying to link back up. This is a better thing than what happened with Disney and Fox, in my opinion, because it's all those movies that come out now. It's more convenient for us when we get, if there's screenings that come in. It's like, okay, you don't have to deal with one studio instead of two, but that's selfishly for us. For the business, I think it's better when you have competition for a lot of different places. So when one studio is buying it up and monopolizing it, it becomes less interesting. So
yeah, and there's a 45-day period they've got to wait around for to allow other bidders to come in. So we may not even be done with this whole situation just because they've come to an agreement. They allowed a 45-day period. So there may be other investors who go like, well, we might want, now that we see what the bid is, we may want to come in with a higher bid and make a move here. I think it would cause a lot of untangling. It would take a lot of wires to be untangled to make it happen at this point, but you never know. But I think this is a positive for Star Trek overall. I know you're not always the biggest fan of Star Trek, but for Skydance and Paramount coming together, the fact that Skydance said they were going to leave Paramount relatively intact in terms of the IP and what they've got there, there was rumors that another bidder was going to come in and just start cutting up the rights of Star Trek and selling them out to the highest bidder. Now it seems like it's going to stay in-house with Paramount. So is there a recommitment here to the Star Trek franchise? Do they reboot it completely and start over from scratch? Because there's been rumors about that fourth movie for so long, and a new writer was assigned to it a few weeks ago. So I just wonder if this means a stronger commitment to Star Trek and Mission Impossible and these other IP that have been part of Paramount, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and what have you. So we will see.
I love Mission Impossible. Right? I do. But if I'm these new owners, I'm saying, look, we meet with Tom Cruise and we go, look, we want to make more of these things or whatever they're going to do. But you tell them, but let's cut it out with a $400 million budget and give me the COVID stuff. And it's still, let's take away 100 from COVID, take away 150 COVID. Too much. Yeah. Well, this movie, $400 million for this movie. Are you kidding me? And so you say, stop this. And you talk about these other, and you can get them to do more movies. And what's their big IPs? They got Star Trek, which hasn't done very well for them. Like you had the first two J.J. Abrams ones that were fine. The box office wise, I actually liked the last one, which is bizarre because I think out of the three of them, they're the most. It's the most Star Trek-y.
The Beyond one, yeah.
I didn't mind that movie, but I liked all three of those movies, and I liked Pine as Kirk, and I liked the idea of doing a movie with Hemsworth as the Kirk's father. I dug that when they were doing that, but they just kind of don't really have a lock on it, and I wonder if it's because it's just. Well, I think you're going too big with Star Trek when you're doing $150 million movie. I think you got to make Star Trek movies small. But what's their other IP?
Well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And as we mentioned already, you already said Mission Impossible. Do you think you move Tom Cruise off of that thing and you go with a young up and coming actor, kind of like John Voight dying in the first one, so that Tom Cruise essentially takes over that role? Do you think you bring in a young up and coming actor to take that spot?
Someone mentioned, of course, how could we forget Transformers and G.I. Joe?
Right. Well, I was getting to those, but I wanted to get Mission.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're gonna do it, you got to transition him into whoever the next person is, and you got to make sure that person, because look at what they tried to do with Bourne. Jeremy Renner is very well liked, but hard to carry it over from Matt Damon. So it's not to say someone can't do it, but you'd have to cross your fingers and hope, as opposed to just saying, yeah, we're putting our chips in on this guy.
Yeah. There's a really great crop of new, young, up and coming actors. I mean, a majority of them auditioned for Superman, and only one guy got it. So these other people who auditioned for it, clearly that's an all-American hero. Ethan Hunt, in a way, has that radiates that all-American kind of vibe to him in terms of him representing the country and doing what's right. So it could be interesting to look at Jacob Elordi or these other up and comers to maybe take that spot or work with Tom Cruise in tandem for one like kind of transition movie. But yeah, with Transformers and G.I. Joe, I hope with a creative executive in charge of the studio now, there's more of an understanding of why these franchises work and what makes them work with the fans, right? Like I know a lot of people.
Steve Bonaventura is still there, and I like Lorenzo. Yeah. I've met him a few times. He's a nice guy.
Lorenzo,
does not get these movies at all, man.
No,
either one of them. As long as he's making them, they're not going to do well. But somebody said, Scott Barkley says Mission Impossible is the greatest action franchise ever. Stop the hate. Are people hating on Mission Impossible?
No, I think he's saying because we're commenting about how much money.
That doesn't make any sense. He's not talking about us. That doesn't. He can't because that doesn't make any sense. We were talking
about collection right now.
But we were talking about the budget. He's got no. I'm just Scott. Who's been hating on Mission Impossible? That I haven't seen. I haven't seen people hating on it. So that's weird. But we will also, when it comes to those movies, the Transformers and G.I. Joe, I mean, I've been hoping, and I know that I'm not going to get it in the same way I'm not going to get a Knights of the Old Republic movie. I want to see a G.I. Joe movie based off the Marvel Comics.
The
first 85 issues are ripe for movies, and they're dramas, and it's great. I mean, it's great, but nonetheless, I don't think they're going to do it. But all right, but there's a lot of options out here, guys. What do you think?
Isn't it crazy? Kristian, like 1.75 billion for a studio, they would laugh you out of any league, any professional league.
Not 1.7. No, it was 7 billion.
Where it's 7? Oh, you mean the initial? Okay, yeah. The overall amount will be 7. Yeah, but the latest terms are 1 point. It's just madness.
It's madness. Okay. So we have other things to discuss, everybody. And before we do it, as I've told you so many different times, please, at this point, if you're not signed up to Rocket Money, I don't know what to tell you. I've been giving you guys this opportunity, and I'm going to give it to you again because I and John, we've talked about it. I had subscriptions that I sign up for. This happened to me the other day, where it was like I signed up for this subscription, and I was like, Rocket Money's like, hey, remember this? You signed up for this, dumb. You don't want to pay monthly, do you? And I canceled it. They cancel it for you, and Rocket Money cancels it. And otherwise I would have had to gone through all these different things. It's just linked to my account. It's a personal finance app. It cancels the unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It's been super helpful for me. It lets me know. I had something the other day. It's like, you got a big bill coming up. Remember that? And I was like, remembered it. Managing my finances, it's been a lifesaver. They have over 5 million users, saved over a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions alone, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. So stop wasting money on things you don't need. Cancel your unwanted subscription. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. That is rocketmoney.com/thing. Now, the other thing that I got to tell you about that I've also been giving you tips about is Magic Spoon. I have been getting really nice comments from people lately and noticing that I've been losing weight and that I've been in shape and doing all these things. And one of the reasons why is because I've been eating better, been paying attention. And one of those things I've been doing is Magic Spoon. And every time I talk about Magic Spoon, I get people right afterwards saying, I just tried it. And then that same person will follow up and go, and I love it. People love Magic Spoon because I loved eating cereal as a kid. But as an adult, you can't do it because of all the sugar, and most of the cereals don't give me the protein that I need. And I found Magic Spoon, which is really great. And it tastes very similar to my childhood favorites, but it doesn't have all the sugar, and it's got a ton of protein. And that's my snack at night. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal, it's got 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. So the most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa. and there's so many more. I mix the cocoa and the peanut butter personally, but they also have treats. Magic Spoon has brand new treats. They're crispy, they're crunchy, and they're an easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. For the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. It's delicious. My friend Dan says, it's really delicious, Kristian. I got to try this Magic Spoon. Get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/bigthing. Or look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/bigthing for $5 off. That's Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream. It is appearing a lot more in the supermarkets.
I saw it at Costco the other day, and yes, I go to Costco because I like to buy certain things at Costco. Yeah. Sitting right there, I'm definitely going to buy it the next time I need some cereal, which will probably be within a week. So yeah,
don't do it at the store for me. Do it use my link.
Oh yeah, right. I'll use your link.
Yes. I actually, it was funny because I was at this grocery store now. I'm learning all the new grocery stores in New York in my neighborhood, and every store I go to is Magic Spoon, so it's great. Yeah. All right, let's move on, John. We got some. We always cover the box office, what's going on for everything that's been going down the last couple of weeks, and so there's a new one. There's a new champ right now. That's Despicable Me 4. We knew it. We knew that was going to happen. We knew Despicable Me 4 was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. And it made some money. How much did it make? Well, here you go. Despicable Me 4 takes the holiday box office. Despicable Me, the July 4th holiday weekend is coming to an end, and Illumination and Universal's Despicable Me 4 came out on top very easy. It's set for the 3-day weekend. It had a haul of $75 million and a 5-day opening of $122.6. That beats the projections late last week and bounced back from a drop earlier in the 5-day run that suggested it would hover around $10 million less. Internationally, the film earned a further 106 from 73 markets, giving it a worldwide debut of 229. Combined with its cost-effective $100 million project budget, half that of rival Pixar, the film should be in profit imminently. Speaking of Pixar, Inside Out grossed a further $30 million domestically and $78 overseas to bring its total to $533 million domestic and worldwide haul up to $1.22 billion. It's by far the biggest hit of 2024, and it keeps climbing up the list of all-time animated releases. In the third was Quiet Place, Day One, which earned $21 million domestically, where it sits at 94.4 so far internationally. It added another 21, so its worldwide total is 178.2. Maxine pulled in 6.7 for fourth place, and Angel Studios' faith-based Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, which bombed on arrival with 3.2 million. Bad Boys, Ride or Die, came in fifth, 6.5 domestically, as well as a further 8.2 overseas. It now has 177 domestically and worldwide of 360. Finally, Kevin Costner's Horizon American Saga Chapter 1 looks likely to be taken out to the back paddock and shot.
Wow. Oh, my God. Wow.
No, I didn't say it. I'm just reading it. As the film earns $5.5 million over the weekend, its domestic total is disastrous, $22.2 million. Okay, by late, the May overall domestic box office was 28% behind last year, in part due to the number of high-profile flops like Fall Guy, Furiosa, but the recent rush of sequels has seen that gap fall to 17% and has been seeing a good sign for tentpoles such as Twisters and Deadpool Wolverine. Like, there's so much there, John. There's so much there to discuss in that report. Let's start with the fact that number one was Despicable Me, made a lot of money. I don't know if it's going to catch Inside Out too. I don't know. Everybody thought that was going to be the two contenders, was that and Deadpool, and Inside Out 2, it might be the horse to catch.
Yeah, Despicable Me did fine for the weekend. Certainly, 200, I think it's 200 million globally. So that's good. And considering it was only made for 100 million, I think it won't catch Inside Out, but I think it'll make more of a profit because it was made for $100 million less. So I think that's what we're looking at here with the situation, because also we've got all these movies coming now, man. I mean, like you said, Deadpool, Wolverine, Twisters, these movies are going to dig into the box office for these animated films. I think Inside Out 2 was clearly a slightly smarter to open when they opened and make their money. Despicable will make their money right now in the next couple of weeks, but then the juggernaut that is Deadpool and Wolverine is coming, and we'll see how they perform after that. But I don't think they're going to catch In and Out by the time the summer's over.
In and Out Burgers?
Sorry, Inside Out 2.
I'll catch them. I love In and Out Burgers. Well, the thing is, I don't think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to take a chunk out of those movies because I'll tell you, when I went, I wanted to take my kids to see something over the weekend. Despicable Me 4 was playing. They've already seen Inside Out. We went. It was a family movie, and there's stuff for the kids to see. And it really is. I don't think there's anything else coming out that's family friendly that both kids and adults can enjoy. And I don't know what in summertime. I know there's other things that are coming out that are bigger. Or sorry, for the rest of the year. I know they still got Mufasa. I know that there's Sonic, and there's some other things, but I don't think there's anything else too. I think those are the two big ones, and I think they'll be fighting for the rest of the summer. With Despicable Me taking more of that profit because it's just the newer of the movies. Now I did you see the movie Despicable Me 4?
No, I've never seen any of the Despicable Me films. So
I don't understand. Wait, I don't understand. These comments sometimes. Fan Nimitator says not just for kids, Kristian. Who said that it was?
I know some people are banging this drum about animation.
But I didn't say that it was. I said I wanted to take my kids to see it. So I took my kids to see because there is stuff for the kids that is more so for the kids, where there's not an argument where Deadpool and Wolverine is not for kids. That is more for kids, not just for kids. It's more for kids. I don't understand. Anyway, so when you get that, those particular movies that are coming out, and those are going to do well, and you look at something like, I don't know, you jump into Deadpool and Wolverine. That movie will be the big movie for the summer now. And can you put the joke aside? You're understanding that you're gonna owe me dinner, right?
I don't know yet.
Stop this.
It depends on how
it's going to make $700 million.
We have to wait for the reviews. If the reviews are mixed, we don't know what it's going to be.
Come on.
I'm just saying.
Stop it. Oh, okay. Jeremy, I didn't know that. So there you go. Okay. Well, understood. Okay. So here we go. Let's get into some other stuff because these other, no, we should stick with the box office.
Sure. Yeah. I got a couple more things to say.
That's just the beginning of it. When you look at Quiet Place, it goes back to what you just said about Despicable Me. They made it for $100 million. Good, smart. You make money off of it too. Inside Out 2, you can take that risk on it, and the risk paid off. But you should still, and they cost themselves, and it was a little less because they didn't spend all the money on talent that they could have. Quiet Place day one cost, what did it cost? Maybe 80 million, 60, 70 million dollars to make, and it's doing well. So smart. Now jumping to Horizon. Okay, now this is the thing that. It's a passion project that Kevin Costner wanted to make, and he spent a lot of money on it. And did you see it yet?
Not yet.
You still okay? No. I feel like it's something that's we talked about it. It's a TV movie. It's a TV movie. It's a miniseries rather. It feels like a miniseries, I should say. Very well put together miniseries. But I don't understand why Kevin Costner would spend that kind of money to put out two movies back to back, one in June and one in August. And Westerns in general are so hard to get over. This was to me, John, it was like pushing a big rock up a hill.
I feel like Ty Sheridan took a picture of the box office, or Taylor Sheridan rather, took a picture of the box office returns and sent it to Kevin and said, do you see how you're not a draw anymore? Like on the big screen, like come back to Yellowstone. If I was Taylor Sheridan, that's exactly what I would have done. I get that you wanted to go do this. I'm glad you got it out of your system. Now come home and let's finish this series correctly. And look, Kevin is always in need of some humble pie because Kevin is very high on his own opinion on things. And there's nothing wrong with that. He's a very strong guy. He's been successful. But this, unfortunately, did not catch on. A 3-hour Western, and the reviews have not been great. I mean, you clearly stumbled, and people are not going to go and go, well, you know what? Let's go watch the second one. I think this one is pretty much dead in the water, the second one, because people are going to have to go back and watch the first one in order to enjoy the second one, and they're not going to want to do that now that it's getting all these reviews and didn't do well at the box office. So this might be the end of this 4-part series, or as we said, it might go down to streaming. But I think if I'm Kevin Costner, I'm reaching back out to Taylor Sheridan, being like, look, let's figure things out here. Because clearly I tried to do something. I don't have the draw that I thought I had. I got out of my system. Let's move on.
Because he still has the freedom to be able to do stuff like this if he wants to. It just, good on him for taking the risk. There was some crappy hit piece. I think it was in Variety or something on him, or I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the trades, but it was so like almost like tabloid the way that this guy went after him. Did you see it?
Yeah, they love to go after
Horrible.
Kevin. Yeah, and it's like, look, it isn't like Kevin hasn't made missteps. He certainly has made missteps. Personal
Well, what's a
side.
professional? It seemed like something like it seems like something like well the tabloids would do. It didn't seem like it seemed lame. Anyway, and I see a lot of the super chats coming in. Thank you guys. And if I didn't mention, John and I, what we always do on Monday is we go through all the topics, and then after we're done with all the topics, we go through all the super chats, and we'll do just that. So if you have any questions, it could be about movies, it could be about TV, it could be about wrestling, it could be whatever you want. So then we will move on. Speaking of which, let's move on, John. Let's get to TV. And as we mentioned last night, there's going to be some for you guys. There's going to be a couple spoilers if you haven't seen the House of the Dragon episode. So be prepared, everybody. And this is what it is. It's House of the Dragon episode 4 of season 2 came out last night. It's a fucking stupid thing. I'm trying to show this picture. Last night it came out, and I've been on board in general with this show, and I have been just loving everything about this show. Like, and I haven't understood a damn thing when people have been saying, "Oh, it's boring, it's slow, nothing's happening," and I'm like, "What in the world are you talking about? You're obviously gonna get to a place that you're gonna have some kind of massive episode where shit goes down, and because of all the stuff leading up to from episodes 1, 2, and 3, you're gonna care more than you've ever cared before. What are you talking about?" Exactly. And it's exactly what happened last night.
Yep,
it's exactly what happened last night. This episode, John. I was bouncing off the walls with this episode. I couldn't believe the stuff that's happening, and I don't. Anyone complaining about this show now, have fun. I'm not listening to it because this show is phenomenal. Between this and Dark Matter, like those are my and I'm still, from what I've seen of Shogun's up there too. But man, this is just such a good show. And as I said, the spoilers. So when that whole battle at the end happened, the second Raina was going, I'm going up there. I'm like, she's dead. Yeah. And then the stuff lighting the brother on fire, and holy shit, the stuff that was going down, because he's not dead.
No, he's a husk of a human. He's still alive though.
Oh
yeah, it was a damn good show. And as you said, that I've had the issues too with people saying like, where are all the battles? Where's the war? What's all the, and it's like, no, we have to lay the groundwork for these characters. Now that we've entered into a civil war, you have to understand all the moving pieces for why things are happening, and why we're leading towards these big moments. And sure enough, you don't get that 20-minute battle that is so enjoyable and so emotionally fraught with danger as you're watching it. You can't have any of that if you don't lay the groundwork for Kristen Cole and what he's been doing for Rhaenys, following her through her journey from the first episode where she is not named the queen, and so she's got a battle as the queen who never was, and then comes in as kind of a counselor for Rhaenyra, and then volunteers herself to go up there with Meleys to have the battle at Rook's Rest, and what that all leads to. The king being an impertinent child who was forced to be king by Alicent having to move things around in order to make it happen, and now he takes off anyway to endanger everything. And Aemond being ridiculed in the last episode by his brother, which is what leads to that moment of fire there in the sky. So there is so much. And then you've got Daemon having visions in Harrenhal. So there is so much that went into that this episode that I thought was a great payoff for what we had so far.
Thought it was great. And and so people are like, it's Rhaenys, not Rhaena. I'm not. You tell me that, I'll remember it right now, and tomorrow I'll call her Fred, as I don't remember these freaking names, and I don't care. I don't care. I mean, not that I don't care about the people. I do, but it's like there's too many names. And if you know who I'm talking about, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's a lot of similar names. Aegon, Aemon, Rhaenys, Rhaena, Baela, Barn. Yeah.
That's why during my reactions, I call them things. I called her the princess. I call him Patch. I call them different things because I know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. Exactly. I forget people that I've known for 10 years. I still have nicknames for them because I said, what's that person's name? I'm not good with names. It's just not going to do it. So there you go. And the stuff going on with Damon was awesome. So
Yeah,
all
because that's going to lead to something. Because he's being confronted with his issues with Rhaenyra being in power. He is being confronted with them over and over again in these visions. What is that going to lead to?
well, that's a good point. Someone said, "Well, Rhaenyra's a different character."
True.
Well, then I'll just call her Princess. Rhaenys? I forgot her name already. All right,
Rhaenys.
Don't correct me. All right, so
that's apologies.
Rhaenys, you're just trying to help me out. Anyway, so that was a great episode. I'm really excited to see what happens next. Only 8 episodes this season.
I know, dude.
Crazy.
I'm super bad about that, dude.
And when you look at like the Bear, which I'm about 3 episodes in. I'm digging it more.
I loved it.
You finished it? You like season 3?
Which is ripped through it. Really enjoyed it. I know people's complaints. I totally take that in.
Yeah.
I had no problem with it.
What were the complaints?
Well, people are saying because not much happens.
Yeah.
That's all. Just that not much happens. Okay. But I think you do find a lot about these characters. This is very much a character-driven season. So you're exploring the relationships a lot more. My only episode I didn't like was, I think, the second to last episode.
Okay. With
Jamie Lee Curtis and Abby Elliott.
Oh, well, yeah,
other than that, I didn't like, because I thought she was great in last season, but this.
Yeah. Don't tell me anymore. I liked the first episode a lot. The way that they did is that's what I like about the Bears when they go real independent film with it. And I like they've been doing that, and their music choices are so good. I just lose myself in that show. Really enjoy it. Beverly Hills Cop 4. Did you watch it?
I did.
Let's talk about it.
I saw it yesterday.
Okay. So my wife and I, it took us 3 days to watch it, not because of quality, because it just takes us 3 days to watch it.
It's a 2-hour movie, dude.
Yeah. So what I will say, it's better than the third, right? No doubt. There are the concerns that you and I had about the movie, where there's too much, like, sometimes it seems like it's just kind of goofy, that going for the jokes sometimes.
Yeah.
Is certainly there, and is certainly an issue, but it doesn't override it, because there are enough moments for me that capture the spirit of what they're trying to do. I think that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's fantastic in this movie.
I was surprised by him.
He's the things that when it took me out of the movie was when it was less about the actual story, and because the first Beverly Hills Cop and the second one, Axel Foley was a cop who was funny.
Yeah,
he was a cop who was funny. There are moments in this one that it's like straight out of Saturday Night Live. They even have an ex-Saturday Night Live cast member in it. And that scene with that she's in, it's like that. When it doesn't feel real to me is when I'm like, eh. But the stuff, the action comedy stuff, the relationship with his daughter, the stuff with him, it's a really good, it's a fun Netflix movie.
Yes, 100%. As someone who loves this franchise and hated that third one, I thought this was like Rocky Balboa. Like, people hated Rocky 5. He came back with Rocky Balboa, kind of reset the character again, got people to fall back in love with the character again, and then went into Creed and they did what they did there. But like, this is kind of like that. Like, remember Axel, remember loving him. Here he is back. Yeah, he's older now, but his instincts are still there. His instincts to mess with stuff is still there, and his sarcasm is still there, playing little characters. And I like it. There's a moment where he's like, you know what? I don't even have the energy to play this. Just let me know what's going. How much is a room? I just want to get a room. This whole, there's great play on the foundations of the franchise that they mess around with. And then they add the human story with him and his daughter, which I think I was looking for that to be terrible. And that worked. And it was great back and forth.
That was the best part. Those things worked very much. And I wish, there's little tweaks that could have made the movie great. Like, even in the first movie, because they play off nostalgia. They play the Pointer Sisters, they play Bob Seger, they play everybody, which is great.
Yeah.
And I think that it worked. They play the old theme.
Yeah, the old theme music,
And this is what I was hoping for. And they do. The only thing, there are little things, little tweaks, like in the first 2 movies, when he's driving through whether it's Beverly Hills or any city that he's in, he's looking around, and you see like the images of people and this stuff. It was great. And he doesn't say anything. In this one, he's cracking jokes. Oh, see you next week. Don't make me catch you on the street. It's like
in Detroit.
In the beginning, and it's like, you don't need it. Just show me through his point of view. And he's looking and he's laughing at people. He's doing things that was it. And then there's a couple times where I'm like, he's in the golf court, he's in the golf cart, or no, he's in the parking thing, and she's spraying him with mace. And it was like this goofy stuff. But then it jumps right back into, oh, well, this feels like Beverly Hills Cop. The third one never felt like it.
Nope.
It felt like something completely different, a goofy movie. And what I realized, though, as I'm watching it, is that when they made Beverly Hills Cop 1, even 2, that was in between. Like the stuff he was making, 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, is all very similar in tone, the action drama. This was before Nutty Professor. This was before Bowfinger. His weapons inside of him and the things that he does in general. I mean, talking about like his acting weapons and his acting choices, the comedy, the Shrek stuff, and all of that. It's all part of the repertoire now. So it comes out inside of this, and you can't ask for it not to. So I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I did too, and I like the way they weaved in Rosewood and Taggart, and making Taggart the chief there, who's and Rosewood, of course, having access to the information they need to have and his weapons. But the only negative I think I had was that I thought Kevin Bacon was good. I just thought it was kind of meh, and you wanted a much more exciting villain, like because that first movie. Victor Maitland is a great villain.
Great villain. So, because he's so subtle.
Yeah.
I love it. My favorite line is, oh yeah, that would be a neat trick. It's the best. I just watched it again recently. And anyway, so that I'm very curious to hear what people thought of it. I think because a lot of people probably thought with the canceled television show that was happening, that everyone thought was going to be so terrible. You and I certainly were skeptical kind of going into it. Yeah, and we wound up my wife and I had a fun time watching it. So there you go. All right. I think there's some other things to talk about before we get to the questions. Yeah. Go ahead, John.
What do you got?
So some other things, we talked about. Oh yeah, there was the Gladiator 2, which that was from the other day. There was actual poster. There's the poster itself. Trailer's coming tomorrow. I think you and I discussed it last week. We're both pretty close to being really excited for this movie, right?
Yes. Especially hearing Jeff talk about his positive reactions to the stuff he saw there at CinemaCon. So yeah, I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. So I mean, I think that's really the big stuff. There's other things, there's Deadpool and Wolverine stories that we can cover on Capes and Cowls and other things. I think we covered everything here that's going on, and we'll want to get to these questions. And
sure.
But before I do, lastly, before we get into the questions, I'm really excited because I had heard here of Liquid IV before. I've heard of them before, and then I got a chance to check them out, and now they're part of the show. So excited to talk about our next sponsor here too, because John, who's your for the Summer Olympics? What do you look forward to?
The basketball, the swimming, high diving, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
See, for me, my little one has been she's getting into gymnastics now.
Oh yeah, right, gymnastics for sure.
So we are pumped to watch gymnastics with her. I cannot wait, because I remember Mary Lou Retton growing up as a kid and all that stuff, and just tearing up watching the medal ceremonies and all of it. And everybody has the dream. Look what I'm going to do. I'm going to be in the Olympics. I remember when boxing was part of it and doing all that. It's like the Olympics is now in full swing, and hydration, though, it's key for athletes and fans. So Liquid IV is extraordinary. It's hydration for physical endurance, mental clarity, and overall well-being. So basically, what do? You tear, you pour, you enjoy a packet of it, and you love it. So I have tried it. I feel the energy, and I'm digging it, because I think that one of the great things about it is that hydration, you really want to make sure that you can recover after a long day trying to keep up with, especially for me with my kids. Good Lord. And it's easier to stay hydrated while traveling. So you skip the overpriced drinks and all that. So here's what you do. Once again, you want to head on over to liquidiv.com. Use that code, though, big thing, at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using that code, big thing, at liquidiv.com. Now, you know what to do. You're going to get 4 of those delicious sugar-free flavors, whether it's white peach, green grape, raspberry melon, and lemon lime. I like the raspberry melon, personally. That's what I do. But head on over there. Check it out. All right, John.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Olympics, man.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be on Peacock. I've already carved out time. I may be restarting the sports channel we'll cover the Olympics there on YouTube. So look for that.
Will that be your intro? Will you do that noise?
Yes. It'll be
I will say this, and this is not a sponsor. I posted on this morning, but did you have like the Fall Guy? I posted on my Instagram today. They sent me one of this package.
Oh, nice.
All the Fall Guy stuff. And we've all, being in this business, you've gotten some really great packages.
Sure.
This is one of the greatest packages I've ever gotten.
Wow.
Well, besides the jacket and the code and like it's got one of the thing. What are the things called? Quiet on set.
A megaphone. Yeah.
Megaphone. I gave you a full megaphone with the batteries. You don't have to go out and get the batteries.
Mm.
And I'm already yelling at my kids to come downstairs with it. Popcorn treats. I mean, it's got so many different things. Oh my god! I'd go on my Instagram, guys, and go see all the cool stuff. It was amazing. That's going to be the movie that when people say, what's a movie that was really good that didn't do well, that's going to be what I'm always going to bring up. And Furiosa.
Yeah, Furiosa, man. Yeah. Which is out on video tomorrow. You can download it tomorrow. Buy it on digital.
Matt Sarah leave me a voice message the other day. Like, Furiosa, man, it's a good movie. Furiosa, I love it. He loved it. And he's like, what happened with Furiosa? I want to talk about it on the show. So Matt's going to be on the show. We're going to talk Furiosa.
Nice.
Okay. Mad Sinister McCall. What is your favorite foreign language film? Raid 2 for me. Oh, you stole my thing. Raid 2. Raid 2. I love Raid 1. I love Raid 1. But Raid 2 is like, it's got like elements of like Godfather in there. And there's just, I mean, that is a perfection movie. I love Raid 2. So
both the Raid movies are great. Yeah. But you're talking to a film snob. So I have to go Seven Samurai. I have to go Cinema Paradiso. There's a bunch of other ones that I can go down the path of, and Cyrano de Bergerac. So there are a lot of great foreign language films. People need to expand their minds past just the American stuff for sure.
Yep. Okay, Ewok. Kristian, are you planning to catch up with Squid Game before season 2 airs later this year? I think you'll enjoy it. Rocha, back me up. I don't think you got to back him up because I hear that it's great from everybody, and it was one of the things that I was trying. But it's the investment of it to where if I'm going to do the reactions to it and people are watching it, then I'm going to keep doing it. But it's like it's hard to be able to say, okay, what am I going to take out, put the time into, and see if the audience actually gives a shit about it. And I'll try to do that. And considering it's 2, 3, 4 years past the first one, if anybody cares, but I'll probably do a first time watching for the first episode and then, maybe review it afterwards.
Yeah. No, I loved it. And the reality show I thought was great. If you guys haven't seen the Squid Game reality show, that was fucking fantastic.
Very good. Okay. Next one. Mike Joyce. Kristian, you mad at Kristen Cole for ruining your name. No, my name's not Cole. Come on. But he's turning into a fantastic villain.
Yes.
A fantastic villain. And so much so that he's getting old Roddy Piper heat from like people because he's so good at it. People like you're harassing him as if he's actually the guy from House. What the fuck is wrong with people?
He's a finger poke in the eye away from being Roddy for sure.
What is wrong with people? I don't understand. Okay. Mike Joyce again. Yesterday was Rhaenys Targaryen's birthday also. Oh, look at that. Okay. There you go.
The irony.
The irony indeed. Kenneth Colton. Welcome back, gentlemen. Thank you, Kenneth. We were all treated with something very special last night. Episode 4 was a masterclass in every way. The countdown is on as well. 17 days until Deadpool and Wolverine. Yep. It's going to be an interesting day for Rocha and I on that. Oh, I was going to ask you, probably could ask you this off air, but that the Tuesday that it comes out, after it comes out.
Yeah.
Can we do our live show that day? Are you available on that Tuesday?
I can make myself available.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be good because I think Monday I'm going to have to, because Monday my spoiler episode will come up and I won't be able to I don't want to eat up the views on this one.
Yeah, fair point.
We'll do that. Okay. So thank you for that one, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, guys. Murph. Could you rank these 80s movies? Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, and The Terminator. That's a very tough one for me to do. I would do it, but I'm going to do it. Now, as far as quality, I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to tell you my favorites as far as what I would pick. If I'm scrolling through, these are all, and the answer is I would watch any one of them at any time, all of them. But if I'm going to rank them, the one I'm going to go to first is The Terminator. That's my number one. I love that. I just love that movie so much. Number 2, people are going to be so mad at how lowly ranked Back to the Future is here because it as the best movie, it's probably the best out of all of them. But number 2, I'm probably going to go with Raiders. 3, if you ask me, you can only watch Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop. It's not fair because of recency bias. It's not fair. But I'm gonna have to say Back to the Future. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say Back to the Future, Beverly Hills Cop, and then Ghostbusters. But it can change. I could change my list tomorrow. Yeah. What would you say, John?
I'd say Beverly Hills Cop first, Ghostbusters second, Raiders of the Lost Ark third, Back to the Future fourth, and Terminator fifth. I don't love the first Terminator as much as everybody else does because it's fun, but it's so dated. Terminator 2 is a much better film, so for me that makes it move down the list.
You're a crazy person. All right, so Acel, I like that. Acel, hey Acel, over under. Will 2024 beat 2023's domestic box office total of 8.9? 2024 is currently sitting at 3.8. I don't know if you can throw a no way in there.
There's less films. I would be very surprised if it came.
Films. You got. Let's see if Despicable Me can pull the billion. If it can, that'll put it close to 4.8. Right. Let's say Deadpool hits it. That's 5.8. Let's say Mufasa gets close, which it won't. But let's say it puts it at the 6.8.
Okay.
Yeah. Then everything else, it'll be hard. I think the closest you can get is set between 7 to 7.2. I don't think it'll hit. I don't think it hit 8.9. I think John's right, but I think who knows? I mean, Sonic could be something that's big too.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Beetlejuice, maybe.
Beetlejuice ain't gonna hit $1 billion. Beetlejuice is lucky to hit 300, 400 probably. But
Joker. What about Joker 2? Joker 2 could be.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know. Wicked, Joker, maybe.
I think Wicked's gonna crash and burn.
I think you might be right.
I think that's not going to be a good movie. Just from the trailers.
I don't think it looks good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it looks good. And we're the people you want to bring in. You're going to get the women and the gays. It's the straight dudes you want to bring in to get that money over.
I don't know. Look at Barbie. Look at Barbie.
Yeah, but straight dudes liked Barbie. I hate to break. I'm a straight dude. I liked Barbie.
Yeah, sure. So Barbie didn't target you. You liked it, but it didn't target you. Went after its majority. Went after moms and sisters and like you said, gays, and it went after everybody. But it definitely had a target. Every movie has a target audience.
Right. I just think Wicked is so distinctly
maybe. Yeah, because of Broadway and everything too. I don't know. We'll see.
Gladiator 2 might hit $1 billion. We'll see.
Yeah. So the answer is that's why I said you can't just say outright no. First instinct to say it. I understand. Okay, Ewok just watched Quiet Place day one. Give that cat an Oscar nomination. We'll each who? Which one? Who?
The cat in Quiet Place.
Oh, give the cat. I thought you were saying like give that cat.
Hey, give that cat.
Give that cat. Like, ooh, Joseph Quinn. Will either of you be at San Diego Comic-Con this year? And Rocha, who you got taking the Euros? Start with that one because I don't know what that means.
Oh, the Euro Championships. I probably Holland at this point, but I think England. I have a weird feeling about England finally winning that thing. So that's what I'll say.
Well,
Comic-Con. What about Comic-Con?
I'm not going to Comic-Con, no.
Yeah, I might come down for a day because I live here now. Yeah. I have less of a desire to go and do it as strongly and get COVID. Wow. The numbers are going back up. So
yeah. Wow, I'm surprised you. That was like you guys, the old Florida State crew at your own thing.
They're still going.
I was never invited. Don't
give me a break.
I was always there. All right, so let's see. We did that one. Okay, thank you for all these. Hank Pym just made my most irresponsible purchase ever. $900 for SummerSlam tickets right by the entranceway. That's pretty great, though. What's a really irresponsible purchase that you've made? I'm trying to think. I mean, probably the two video game systems the two arcade games. I have Dragon's Lair and the old Star Wars game in there.
Yeah.
My wife was like, "What in the world are those?" So those are probably two of them.
I think when I bought that 3D television for $3,000 years ago, and I had to sell it for $250 by the time.
Oh no!
Yeah, it was such a waste of a purchase.
Yeah,
that's a waste of a purchase.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay. Al Rencha, how pissed will you be if Saul/Jedi killed all the witches on Brenda? We are likely to get a reveal tomorrow, and I'm nervous about fans' reaction. I mean, I don't know. At this point, pissed. I'm not gonna be pissed at all. It's like the show to me is just that I was trying to probably at some point put out if I'm gonna rank all the Star Wars TV shows, and not just because you're a hater, of course. I probably rank Acolyte the lowest. It'd probably be Yeah, because and I would have put Boba Fett there, but I forgot about the 2 episodes of The Mandalorian that were essentially
Yeah,
side of the Boba Fett,
that's a
which
good
still
point.
counts. And those episodes are great. So, and I know people go, well, that's not really Boba Fett. Yeah, but it counts because if you look at the episode list,
The
it counts
window.
out of the Boba Fett thing. So I would put right now, I put Acolyte as the last. Then I'd put second to last would be Boba Fett and then Obi-Wan. Those are
Yeah.
all in the kind of the stink pile. But I mean, I don't know. Ahsoka to me gets worse and worse the more I think about it. And
Yeah.
I initially liked it when I watched it.
Ahsoka starts to descend for me.
Yeah, it's
big
just a
time.
really not well written show. Okay, let's see. Now we get to Hank Pym. In House of the Dragon, what exactly do you think she was trying to accomplish by going to meet Allison? It feels like a massive risk for no reward. Well, I think that and again, this is for spoilers for people who haven't seen it, so you might want to tune back in or pause it if you're watching on the replay. So spoiler. I understand the argument for most people who are saying that what a ridiculous risk for her to take
Mm.
and not telling anybody. Like it could have been the whole war could have been over like that if Allison wanted to scream out and that's it.
Yeah.
So I get that argument. What was accomplished? She has a clear definition. She's got a clear understanding of she got her dad basically signing off and realizing exactly what it is, and then inspiring her to tell her son about Song of Fire. So she got the information of what she needed, and she actually thought as Rhaenys, right?
Rhaenys.
Damn it, Rhaenys. She told her she was great in that whole scene. She was a great hand of the queen, great hand. Who basically, and she said she should have been, but she's like, you need to get peace here. So I think that's what it is. It's trying to get peace.
Yeah, I mean, the way you got to understand shows is you've got to not look through your own emotional prism. You've got to see like, what would this character do? And everything from Rhaenyra, from the first season into this season, makes you believe that she would try this because she's always trying to avoid war. She's the best of Viserys. She's always trying to sue for peace. She's always trying to keep things calm. And yeah, does she mess up with Daemon because she's got an unhealthy obsession with him? For sure. But like, she went to Allison to be like, let's end this because thousands of people are going to die. She actually cares about her people. She cares about the people at King's Landing, and she cares about them. Whereas Allison, this is a game to stay alive for Allison. Right. I think Rhaenyra really cares about the people, which is why she went to try to stop it. Look at Allison in this past episode. She was so casual that thousands of people are going to die. Nothing I can do about it. They're going to die because I misunderstood Viserys. Can't stop it now. And it's like, well, that's the difference. Rhaenyra was trying to stop it. That's why she went.
Agreed. Okay, next one. Sean Zimney.
Hey, Zimney.
Sending love from Minnesota, gents. Thank you, Sean. Also wanted to express how much I appreciate Rocha's recent post-debate conversation with the GOAT, Steve Morris. Was it good?
Yeah, we had Steve and I are on different sides on the President Biden running and whatever. So we had a fun conversation about that last week on my channel, and I'll do more of that as it goes along. Not going to bring back Impolite Truths because that's just a massive thing to take on, but certainly it's getting heated. We're getting close. So we had a fun conversation. So thank you.
It's just not a place. We never talk about politics, obviously, on this show, but like it's just for me, it's just not a good place for them to be in right now. And I think that, I mean, I probably think I'm more on the side of Steve. If judging off of your tweets, I think they got to change him out. But that's another conversation.
I know.
All right. Let's go to Tyler Fife. Just discovered Adam Ray. It's my buddy. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. His Dr. Phil is gold. So I assume, Tyler, that maybe you, and that'd be great if you found me from within the last couple of years. But Adam Ray used to come on the Schmoes No Show all the time. But I wanted, before I moved out of LA, I wanted to have him come in to the studio. But maybe if he's in New York, I'll try to get him in studio. Johnny Venerable. In Acolyte, are you guys buying the new theory that the strangers in fact plague us? Oh my God, no, please no.
Oh God,
Semnik is the planet. That reveal would be wild. I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it on so many different levels. I would hate it. The first reason I would hate it is it means that they would change the species. And I know it was never canon. He wasn't immune, but it would make more sense if he was, because then anytime you bring him in, you don't know the species and how long they aged, which is the second part of it.
Is this where you're going to bring in Plagueis on a TV show?
How old would he be? How old would he be? I mean, this is 100 years before Phantom Menace. He would be 100. How old would he be when he meets Palpatine? Because Palpatine, I mean, not 100, but I guess at least 80. depending on when you had him meet, he'd be like, I guess 80 years old, hobbling around teaching Palpatine. So I hope not. I think that would be a horrendous reveal. I would not be a fan of it.
Let's just finish the show. I just want to finish the show. Like,
Yeah.
let's get all the episodes and then we can move on from it.
Get it over with.
Yeah, I kind of just want to get it over with because the discourse has been crazy, and unfortunately, last episode didn't really fell apart after
such a
great season.
One episode I liked.
Yeah.
Well, you know why? And I shouldn't say that I what I liked about it had the stuff in it that I liked the most.
Okay.
And it was the Sith stuff and the idea of what Manny's doing in that.
He is great.
He's stealing the show.
Yeah.
I think that we've talked about this last week. I think putting the twins in there was the worst decision that should have. The show should have been about Jackie and Saul. The whole show should have been about them. So everything that the stranger wasn't in was kind of lackluster. There's a lot of stuff, but there was enough of the Sith lore in there that you got me.
Yeah.
So Mad Sinister McCall, now a Regal member, 4 movies in 6 days. I saw Maxine and Kill Friday. Kill is my favorite movie of 2024, even better than Dune 2. You seeing it? I haven't seen it. I don't even know what it is.
I'll be seeing it this week. Yeah, it's a film from India, and essentially it's like John Wick on a train.
Yeah.
I did a trailer reaction for it. They reached out to me, and it looks fantastic. So I want to see it. But yeah.
Okay. So Mufasa will gross over 1 billion as a clear path from Christmas to Cap 4 in February. Exalted 10.
No way.
Again, I'm not throwing no way out on that one. Look at Lion King, man. Lion King made $1 billion.
Yeah, but that was because it's tracing the original film. This is all new, and I don't think it's going to get $1 billion.
I don't think he's wrong though. Where it's got an opportunity. There's not a lot of big stuff coming out leading up to it, and again, there's not a lot of stuff for family stuff. I wouldn't shine if I didn't like the trailer. I didn't like the trailer at all. But that doesn't mean that it still doesn't have that name behind it. So that's one that it's all about opening weekend. But I'm not writing off Exalted 10 on that one. I think that might be a prediction that he might be right on.
Because you got Sonic the Hedgehog opens the same weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's going to totally cut into Mufasa. You have had Kraven the Hunter. If that's even remotely good last weekend, the weekend before, it'll be carrying over. So we'll see though. We'll see.
Yeah. Did we even talk about Agatha? I don't think we did. We
didn't. Not yet. We didn't talk about the F1 trailer either. So hopefully.
Oh shoot! I haven't watched the F1 trailer yet.
Oh, okay.
But Daniel Arellano says, "Love everything you both do. Thank you." Agatha looks cool. I find myself not caring because of previous Marvel shows. I feel my trust in the IP is gone. I think all that is fair. So Agatha, we talked about this on Capes, and I'm sure you guys talked about it on Geek Buddy. I never really understood the need for it.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
In the same way that I didn't feel a need for Andor, and Andor worked out, right?
Yeah.
Then they, announced it was going to be a holiday kind of Halloween thing. And it looks, Mayor of Easttown is the first thing I thought of when
same.
It looked like Mayor of Easttown. And then as there was more that started to happen, I'm like, okay, there's the Marvel humor, but for the most part, it seems like they're going for the horror thing, and the tone, it looks like they're nailing the tone they're going afterwards. Yeah. Now, did they necessarily get me on board to say, oh, I can't wait to watch this? No, but I think it looks like a quality show. I think to kind of echo what Daniel is saying, I don't understand the need for it still. And I don't understand, and I've been let down by other Marvel shows where I'm just going, And so is it the same? But how did you feel overall about this trailer?
Yeah, I'm with you. As I said, I didn't have any interest in an Agatha show. I liked her as a character in WandaVision, but it was Wanda and Vision who I was caring about. It was not Agatha. And I thought Catherine Hahn did a great job, and it was so much fun when the twist happened. She's a great actress, but did I want to see a whole series? No. But coming out of the trailer, I was like, you know what? This looks cool. I like the darkness here. I like the collection of actors with Aubrey Plaza, and I have questions. What is Aubrey Plaza's role in this? I'm a massive Patti LuPone fan, so I love her coming in as like this Grand Dame witch. what's her role in all of this? And then some of the visuals and the images and the places they go. And I mean, like she's dressed up as the devil in essence or a demon. Like I like that they're willing to kind of go towards that werewolf by night approach, and have fun with it. So for me, that gets me excited. If it's going to be like, women power, we all get together and women power, I get kind of bored with that. But if you're going to show me like the magic and exploring how deep this thing goes, and she's got to go over these obstacles in the witch's road to fully climb out and embrace her power by the end, then yeah, hell yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Werewolf by Night, because that was one with D23 when they announced that. I felt the same way. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
I was not on board for people losing their mind as the trailers come out. I'm like, what's Michael Giacchino doing here? And I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. But it was one like movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a full series.
Right. It was just a movie. Right. Exactly.
I'm going to care enough, because I thought that, and I love Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
But I didn't care enough about Agatha to go, oh, I wish she had her own show.
Right.
And so, but I said the same thing about Cassian Andor. So we'll see. Yeah. We will see. Okay. Here's the next one. Carlton Rudder.
Hey.
London Calling. Will the Deadpool and Wolverine steak dinner be an actual meal for both of you or not? I would love a vlog if you're both together and paying that bill. I think that what I would probably want to do is try to find a time that I was going to be in LA, and then give John enough notice to where he can drive into LA. And then, I think that we'd probably have to record it and put it on the live show, like some of this stuff too,
we should probably do a whole live show. We'll get cameras and everything like that
from the steak dinner.
Maybe
we do like actual
our review of the movie.
We might as well while we're at a review of the steak while we're doing it. Francisco Ramirez Burgos. Have either of you been able to watch the newest Beverly Hills Cop? Well, yeah, we talked about it. I thought it was surprisingly enjoyable and really washed off the stink of Beverly Hills Cop 3. I mean, that's essentially exactly what we said. It was a fun watch. Like if I'm going to rank them, I'm going 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's the ranking. That's absolutely the ranking.
Yeah. Okay. So War Table Entertainment and Gaming Network. This could be good for Paramount in the gaming world. Okay, good point we didn't cover.
Oh yeah, true.
Skydance with original games like Transformers and Star Trek. That's a very good point. If they really put their stuff into some really quality games. I mean, what's the last like great Transformers game that you've heard about? You always hear about the Spider-Man games and all these games like right? Like a really great Transformers or a G.I. Joe game. That would be great. Yeah, that'd be great. So that's a very good point. Carlton Rudder, big shout out to John for the superb deep dive into the Pixar sequels on his channel yesterday with Mike and Steve. So many great shows on his channel. Yeah, John, let's take that opportunity. Plug away, my friend.
Oh yeah. If you guys want to come and hang out with me on the Outlaw Nation, there on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Come and take a look at all the stuff we got going on, the Hot Mic, the Jedi Way, the Geek Buddies, my reactions, as one of you all pointed out, my conversations about what's going on in the world of politics there with Steve Morris, and of course the Cinephile show that we do there on the podcast feed. So it's a lot of fun that we have over there on the Outlaw Nation. Come and hang out. Yeah, I'm controversial, but I got a lot of great people on the shows, and I'm very honored and blessed to have such great co-hosts that you all will enjoy. And maybe some point we'll get Kristian back on one of those shows for sure.
Definitely. All right. So
thank you.
Gardner, alive or dead? What's your guys' dream celebrity interview? This isn't fair, and all you can guess. It's not fair. It's because I put it, and even I told you I have the talent booker that I have now that got us all these great guests, and they say as I was starting with them, who's your dream? Who do you think my number one is?
It's Julia Roberts.
Yeah, 100%.
But you won't make it out of the interview. Just like,
I don't even know if I get a question off. Like did you see my video I put out yesterday on Instagram?
No, what'd you do?
I was basically walking, and I had like the dramatic music over it, and I said, who's the first person if there's someone you think of, someone that needs to hear it, then and send this to someone that you really think needs to hear this. And I looked at him, the camera. I was walking the dog, and I felt, because you scroll through these videos and you see these things. And there's this one guy, and I don't know why he annoys me, but and he's just positive, but he annoys the shit out of me. And he's just and he stands in front of the mirror and he goes, pick a number from 1 to 6. Okay, good. And I didn't say anything, but he feels good. And he goes, okay, now multiply it by 3. Good. Now do this 2. Good. If it's 6, you have to follow me. And it's never 6. It's never 6. And so what I did this one, and I haven't posted yet. And I said, all right, I want you to pick a number between 1 to 12. Okay, good. Now, I want you to remember the shirt, the color of your shirt you're wearing right at this moment. Good. Okay, now, what's the last food you ate? Perfect. If you like bagels and cream cheese, follow me. It just makes no sense. Come on.
Ugh.
Anyway, alive or dead? Who's your favorite? Who's your dream celebrity?
I don't know. Elvis. How about that?
Elvis? Who you know with?
I would love to sit down with Elvis. Like Elvis, who is like sane and can have a conversation and talk about his life. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
All right.
I love Elvis.
Evil John Madden. Hey, John, I have a good British show for you to watch.
Ooh.
Supercell on Netflix. I actually seen the trailer for this.
Oh, okay.
About people getting powers, plus the hair type is black, and only white people on the show are evil.
So you mean real life? Oh no, I'm joking. All right, I'll check it out. Check it out. I liked the blackening, and I liked they cloned Tyrone. So those
blackening her was great. I didn't see it. Haskell 420. What up, Ed? Hey guys, a video was posted the other day with Ruffalo showing how all the OG Avengers reunited and re-recorded all their lines in the Avengers over 1 out of 2. I got to find the next one.
Okay.
He's probably asking about the next one. Okay. Over under 15 minutes in the Lakota Indian language. It's great. Should Marvel release the Lakota cut on Disney Plus like Hulu did with Prey? Happy birthday, Ellis.
Oh yeah.
I got to reach out to him today. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I heard about that, but I'm not sure if they're gonna release. I think there should be some things that are just meant for who they're for also, you know.
Sure. Was that for like the what if episode, or was that for something else?
No, I don't think so. I think they did something for the movies.
Oh wow.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So next one. Here we go. This is Mike Joyce's thoughts on the Maxine trilogy. Is Me, Agatha Star. So I didn't need. So this new one is the third movie.
Yeah, it's the third movie after X and Pearl.
I had no idea. I'm glad I had a screening for it and I didn't go, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have been lost.
Yeah, you would have been lost.
I would have been lost. Did you not like it?
No, it underperformed. So Mia Goth is not a star. She's certainly a damn good actress, and people should work with her all the time. She'll probably be in Marvel and DC at some point. But like this one underperformed for an opening weekend. That tells me that we have to start asking questions about Ty West. I know Jeff is going to be so mad when I say that, but like the last two films have not been that strong in this trilogy, for my opinion. So
you love it,
huh? Jeff liked X. He doesn't like Pearl, I think, and so which was the second one. And so
Jeff's on my not on my real shit list, but like he's on. So he did you see he posted like a championship WCW belt, which how he even knew where to find a belt. Who knows?
Probably because the season behind me.
Probably, but he posted it and he said he's selling huge Schmodown merch.
Oh my god!
Right? And I said, "Oh, do tell." Here's my theory, and I don't know. I'll say it. And I think because I told JTE this. JTE and I gave JT like a bag of Blu-rays before.
How's he doing, man? I haven't seen JT in forever.
I gave him like a bag of Blu-rays before I left.
Nice. Here's a bag of Blu-rays. You second show.
Yeah, take that. And then there was it was almost like the hardcore championship. There's a broken down old Schmodown tag team belt. It was the one that the Patriots had. And it was
right.
And JTE would always bring back the belt, and it was always hanging like from the side. Whatever he was doing, he was always breaking pieces off it. So I'm pretty sure I gave him that one. The other one that I had of that belt was when we did the Schmodown Spectacular 4. And we remember beforehand, we did all those meet and greets, and we had like all the belts and everything kind of
to
see. Well, one of the old tag belts got jacked.
Oh shit.
And I already had, and I was going to give that one. I was like, oh, I wish I had it because I would give it to Snyder.
Yeah.
And Snyder was the one who took it. and I'll say this, even if he did, I wouldn't have minded if he did. But if he's going to sell it, that rat. But then again, I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did, but I wouldn't be surprised.
He loves to sell shit. He loves to sell. Remember his what was his he had the legendary yard sale of his stuff
at that event.
Spectacular, yeah,
at that event. Okay, Evil John Madden. John, I really do love the Geek Buddies. I love that 3-person dynamic. When one of the Geek Buddies can't make it, you should try to get a guest host.
You think I don't? Everyone is busy. Everyone is so busy. I reach out to a number of people.
I've done it. I mean, I've been on.
You've been on it, yeah, when you can, but you're so busy now, and the timing and the 3-hour time difference. Yeah. That's the thing that comes. So it's just easier when 2 or 3 people say they can't do it, I just go, you know what? I don't. You guys do all the shows. You know how exhausting it is to try to book people. It's exhausting.
Yes, it is.
You
Hank
know.
Pym, I missed the movie reviews. Going back to them soon, and I still do them. I do them, but I do my out of the theater reactions, which kind of serves my initial reaction. And then the way that I look at that is that if they do well enough, then I do a non-spoiler review because I don't know if it plays for you the same way, John, but I do the out of the theater reactions usually always do the best.
Yes.
And then it's the movie reviews, non-spoilers will do second best, and then the spoilers do the worst out of the 3 of them, depending on what it is, right? But normally that's usually how it goes. And I will probably, I think that now looking back on it, I probably should have done a non-spoiler review for Horizon because that out of the theater reaction did pretty well for me. So I probably should have done, but I'm finally catching up in New York. I'm finally catching up because it's just been a lot. But I'll probably, I still do movie reviews. I haven't stopped doing them.
Yeah.
They
don't do as well on certain channels. So like you may like them, people who are asking for them, but the numbers may not be that great. So
it just depends on which ones for sure.
Yeah. I've thought of moving them to TikTok now or Instagram Reel, just to be like, I did the review. If you want to watch it
out. Yeah. Well, Bob Skywalker says House of the Dragon had an amazing episode last night. That end made my heart hurt. Truth. Yeah. Dragon makes Acolyte look worse every week. Writing, the acting, CGI. I mean, when you compare them, there's no comparison. I do hope, and Andor shows you that they can get to that level.
Sure,
they can get to that level of where it almost feels like it belongs on HBO. That's the kind of stuff that I hope that they will get to Star Wars eventually. When you feel like, oh, this feels like it should be on HBO, and the only show, whether you liked it, you can't argue that the only show, whether you liked it or not, that the writing felt like something out of HBO. There's no other Star Wars show that they've done. Even Mandalorian, which I love. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 doesn't feel like an HBO show. Yeah. And that's like that's the gold standard because it's earned it with Sopranos, Wire, all these different things. It's earned it. I want to see at least one more show to where I'm like, ooh, that feels like it should have been on HBO and not Disney Plus.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I don't either. But House of the Dragon is in the right spot.
Yeah, agreed.
It's in the right spot. Okay, so Patty Boy, yes. Thoughts on Maxine? It's my favorite of 2024 so far. So I forget, you saw it?
No, I just saw the reviews and I saw the how can I say this? The lower box office than they were predicting it. So it underperformed. So
all right, Carlton Rudder. Jeopardy. A slow-mo lens flaring lasting for 3 hours question. What is a Snyder movie produced by J.J. Abrams? Only joking. No haters for Snyder's fans. He's just saying, what if you had a J.J. Abrams movie and that he produced it with Snyder directing it? Like, what would that look like?
Let me ask you something, man. They're talking about. I mean, Snyder made a hint last week on Vero that he is maybe going to get a theatrical release of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that was part of the deal for him to come back to Warner Brothers do that animated 300 series? Do you think?
Probably.
I'll come back, but you got to put this out.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably. And
I can't wait to see it. I hope it comes out.
Why not add a little extra money to it? Get some people in there. It'll probably be an event. I mean, they do like these event films. They did the whole thing for Spider-Man. Why not?
Right.
Why not? Soul Bro Ryo. Kristian, when you worked at Skybound, did you know that they were working on an ongoing crossover for the Transformers and G.I. Joe, the Energon universe? It's incredible. Paramount should take inspiration from that movie. No, I did. Well, I don't want to tell you no, because sometimes the things that are said to me and I'm like, oh yeah, it sounds great when I wasn't actually working on it, but they said, hey, we got this. They very well might have. The stuff that they have over on that division, how hardworking a lot of them are and what they really go for over on that side of things on Skybound. I mean, the whole company, but that in particular, doesn't surprise me. Their games, they're great. So that's great. And they'll treat it with care. So I would much rather them do a movie on it than ever have Michael Bay back. I'll tell you that much.
How dare you?
Oh, come on.
Such sacrilege, man.
Dude, he's the worst. All right. Carlton Rudder, what are your top 5 directors? Hey, only joking. What are your thoughts on Snyder's Justice League potentially being released in cinemas?
Oh my God, what timing.
I know. Wow. Good timing. Well, he's probably like, damn it, they just answered my question. Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's smart, and put a little extra money in your pocket. And as long as you don't do a massive marketing push on it where you're going to lose money on it, I think you'll be good.
You got to wash the stink of Rebel Moon out of people's mouths. Remind them how great he can be with Justice League.
I am curious to see that. I haven't even finished Rebel Moon Part 1, and I think that I'm in that place now that I want to wait for the rated R version, to where I'm just going to watch the whole rated R version.
Are you going to go to the Hollywood event? They're putting them both back to back with the director's cut.
You forget where I live?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no.
You forgot I lived in San Diego for a year. Please.
True. 5 minutes ago. Yes, boy. John, Money in the Bank watch along was fun. The air was really sucked out of the room after that ref count botch. WWE needs to give Cena everything for his retirement. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the retirement. So
yeah, talk about it.
I think the retirement of John Cena, it's like
quote unquote
the announcement of it. He's going to come back and do another match after he
retires.
Of course he will. But the idea of making an event is really what this is about,
right? And
they should. And they'll make it big on Netflix, and they'll do things with it. They'll have big matches with him and Punk. If Punk's not hurt, they'll do stuff with The Rock. They'll do other things. They'll really build it out. And I think it's a very with how big a star he is, it makes all the sense in the world to make an event.
Yeah, and they should. And I want to see what the end result is, because I mean Cena's matches haven't been that great since he came back. So
he's slower.
He better, step up to the plate, or this will feel like, the end of Flair, where we're all trying to suspend our disbelief.
You're gonna have to suspend disbelief. He's getting older. He's moving slower, and even when he was in his prime, that silly shoulder block thing that he does, who's that supposed to hurt?
5 moves of doom. Yeah.
Artem Shakaraman. We need an official investigation on how the Jedi accountant Mog became a Jedi Master. I'm sensitive to him. That guy, you know who he's talking about, right?
Of course.
That guy, whoever he's talking to Venestra, he with his mullet and everything else going on, how that guy, I am not fighting next to him. So he is definitely nepotism for sure. And then somebody was like, is that Palpatine? I'm like, come on. Break.
No, I just think, look, I think if the, people's speculation is true that, Chimere was a Padawan of Vernestra's, then clearly she wanted to go with someone who was not like Chimere at all.
Yeah.
Who was a nice guy, quiet, accountant looking guy, instead of Chimere, who's smoky, smoldering hot, and can kill.
Oh, there you go. Al Rencha, I think Venestra or Soul will die and Oscar will kill Soul. I hope that Osha will kill Soul. I hope, because that, to me, at least you get something. You go, oh, they went dark with this and they took a risk. I just don't see Disney doing that.
I think it's going to end with both sisters embracing each other and being like, yay.
That seems to be the route that they probably would go.
We're reunited.
Ewok, Kristen Cole is the worst. Joffrey and Ramsey could at least plead insanity, but Cole has Jack for an excuse. Well, he's got the
don't come for the blue collar worker in this situation. Joffrey and Ramsey were both born into their privileged existence, but Cole had to work his way up from like a page or a squire or somebody working and got into this position. And he slept with 2 queens, dog, Rhaenyra and Allison. So my man's doing just fine. All you hate,
but it's because he slept with Rhaenyra that he's a complete jagoff now.
Yeah,
he was completely heartbroken and took it like a turd.
Clearly, my lady got lightning in those lady parts, because he is still mad about it.
Yeah, he really is. Tiberius Monk. Hey, Kristian and John. What's up, Tiberius? Name a scene that you dislike in an otherwise great film and how you would improve the scene to make it better. Also, my favorite foreign language film is City of God. It's a good one. The Bear 3 rules. Well, just because we've been talking about it a lot and it's an easy one to fix is The Dark Knight Rises. I would just take that silly ass death scene out or shoot it from a different angle, because you're talking about a referee 3 count. That's exactly in that moment you're like, oh my God, she just did all this stuff. It's so bad. I remember people laughing audibly in the theater. I'm like, no, not for this movie. You're gonna be kidding me. So I would just shoot that scene completely different.
I'm gonna die now. Yeah, I hear you. I think for me, Interstellar, the final scene there in the bookcase and all of that, I think that just could have been done better, because that film is exceptional. And then that moment, you're like, okay.
Yeah, all right. That's a good one. Stephanie Litz. Hey, Stephanie. Thoughts on the Brad Pitt F1 trailer? uses actual F1 teams, drivers, and co-produced 7-time champ Lewis Hamilton, but not sure non-F1 fans will see it. Well, I think Brad Pitt, and it's the same director of Top Gun, right?
Jessica Kosinski.
Doing. So I haven't seen the trailer yet, but that pairing gets me interested. John, you saw the trailer. You like?
I did. I loved the trailer, but I didn't know they'd use actual footage, which is why my trailer reaction got blocked. So I just put it up on Twitter because they wouldn't let it go on YouTube. So, and I get it, I get it. But like, I thought it was excellent. And using the Queen song, they did. It's a teaser. They just want to get you to understand this is the kind of action you're going to get. These are the people involved. We saw all the actors that are going to be a big part of the movie. And so for me, I think it did its job. And we'll know if Brad Pitt gets you in the door. You're not non-F1 fan, Brad Pitt gets you through the door.
Well, yeah, I really like race car movies, so I'm probably going to wind up digging it. Like Rush is still one of my favorites.
Rush is great.
Love that movie. Tiberius Monk. Hello again, Kristian and John. Name an inexpensive purchase of less than $100 that made a big difference in your life. Oh, man. Also got a new job and feeling happy. Shout out to anyone getting job offers in a difficult time. Well, congratulations about that. I'm glad you're feeling happy. It's very kind of you to send this in to ask this question in general, and your last question, obviously. As far as an inexpensive purchase, less than $100 made a big difference in my life. I'm sure there's so many that I just can't.
I would say buying the Lady Outlaw dinner on our first date, which came to $78, and that began our partnership for the last 6 years. We're coming up 6 years on August 11th. So yeah.
I'm just so bad at this. When I think of like Tiberius, I'm gonna come up with like 1,000 answers when I'm sitting. I gotta sit on a train to go into a screening. I'm gonna come up with a whole bunch. Why didn't I say this? I'll say is the Roadcaster? No, the
Roadcaster's more than 100, bro.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the first thing I see. Oh, it's paper towels. They clean my nose before. I don't know. I gotta think of it. It's a great question with a terrible answer. I'm so sorry.
Maybe buying Ellis lunch to convince him to do the schmoes no, and then that was less than 100, and that
was the opposite.
Oh, he bought you.
Yeah. Matt Sinister McCall, worst film that ever made that you wish you could destroy it forever. Oh, Polar Express. Wow, ever? I'd rather be beheaded by Sir Cole than watch that pile of trash. Holy crap. No, I wouldn't go that far with that movie, but there's some real bad ones out there. Ones that I can't even watch.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are getting me today with these movies. When I got to go back into my memory, because it's to see which one is just
Superman 4: Quest for Peace.
Is it the worst film ever? That's the first one that you think that's the worst ever?
I mean, worst ever. You can go to a lot of places with worst.
Ishtar?
A lot of films. Yeah, I think Ishtar's not bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd really have to look into it and start to all the. What's a movie that I just people in
Eraserhead and Gummo? I mean, those weird ones.
Comment section probably know which movies I hate that I've reviewed in the past more than I can remember at this point. But like this, I'm sure there's a real stinker that if someone brings it up in the comments, I'm going to say, oh yeah, that one.
Oh, the last Die Hard movie. Yeah, Live Free or Die. Oh my God,
that's a bad one.
Horrible.
That's a bad one. That's a real bad one. Yeah, it's a real bad one. Okay. Matt Bull, yes. So Matt Bull asked, did you go over the Damian Priest botch? I did. And if he was hurt, James, I would say that it is definitely the referee's fault. Like the referee should have either counted him out, give Seth the title, and explain it in the back that look, I messed up. The guy was out, his shoulders were down, or if it was Priest, he had at least the wherewithal, or Seth, somebody should have done something because if your shoulders are down, you got to treat it like it's real. You're out, and because that just and figure it out on the fly in the same way that there have been other things before that they've had to, like when Cena and Batista went over the top rope.
Oh yeah, right.
They had to figure that out on the fly. Figure it out.
How about Vince tearing both his quads running into the ring at Royal Rumble? They figured
that was the same one. That was the same moment.
Yeah. Oh right, same moment. Right.
Yeah.
But I will say Triple H's post-game presser when he was answered point. He was asked,
what did he say?
He said something really incredible. He said,
what did he say?
I get it that people are upset about this because it's going to overshadow what I thought was a really great match.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, things happen in the ring. You do your best, and people are going to focus on the negative. But Damian Priest has been a fantastic worker for us, a great wrestler. He's really come on. And if people want to hang this on him, I hope they don't. I went back there and talked to him and said, things happen. You're a great guy. Don't let it get. He goes, I wish I could take the phone away from him and have him not go on social media and then erase this whole thing for him. So I thought that was a great response from Triple H because Vince rarely backed up his wrestlers.
Vince would have had Damian Priest ask for that.
Oh, totally. He'd have made him a ridicule, an object of ridicule.
He doesn't allow. Yeah, he was. Yeah, anyway, okay. Justin Fountain, to answer the game question for Paramount, last solid Transformers game was 2012, Fall of Cybertron. It was also compared with the Batman Arkham games in terms of fan service and a third-person shooter. That's a great answer. Thank you, Justin, and I'm glad you told me that. But I would love to. I mean, so my buddy Graham is a big his Star Wars is Transformers. Like he loves Transformers. So again, I'm sure he knows a lot of the games. He might have even told me about that. He told me about a certain one that's really adult oriented. I don't know if it was a game or a show, but anyway. There he is, Mr. I Crap and Shits.
Oh,
long time no chat. Congrats on your move. Thank you, Crap and Shits. I really appreciate that. Okay, next one is Elusive Rock. Thoughts on Giancarlo playing GW Bridge in Cap 4? It's Giancarlo. So you get him, you make your movie better.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nothing more to add.
Yep. Pete Parker, 2288. Favorite underrated action movie? I love Eraser, but no one ever talks about it. Your Luggage. So great.
Oh God,
underrated action movie does in film circles. Raid and Raid 2 is everywhere, right?
Sure.
But you say it to most people on the street, they don't know what those movies are. I would say Raid and Raid 2. I would say that those need to be more mainstream movies. They're really, those are really good movies.
Run Lola Run. You know, amongst the artsy fartsy crowds, they know that movie, but most people don't know Run Lola Run, and that's an excellent action film.
Yes, it is.
Frank Aponte was so good in that movie.
Yep. Okay. Mallory Garrett. When it's all said and done, I actually might end up loving House of the Dragon even more than Game of Thrones. Now, when it's all said and done, when it's all said and done, depending on how many seasons it goes.
That's what I'm saying. You can't compare it until it goes to a 8th season.
She said all said and done, though. So if it goes 3, 4, 5 seasons, then you compare it at the end of it and see how it goes. Okay. If they keep the same showrunners and everybody doing what they're doing, they're building scripts off of stuff that's already written.
Yeah.
Right. It's now
and they have George on the damn team.
Yeah. And they have, I mean, the history books are already written. It's like they basically, it's like basically someone writing a Rome. I wish they would have finished Rome. It was ahead of its time, that show.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think that I don't disagree with you, Mallory. I think that there's a good shot. I love the show, John, because to me it's more contained.
Yeah.
And I love Game of Thrones. But you'll spend like in Game of Thrones, you'll have episodes of, okay, I'm with somebody else. And then the next episode, you won't get any of those people. And it's a whole bunch of new people. This is all about the one storyline. And I like that. Not to say I didn't love Game of Thrones. I did. And I'm one of the few people that liked the last season. But yeah, I agree. If they deliver it, I think it could be the best.
Yeah, I liked the last season up until the end.
Crap and Shits is back.
Hey,
rough June for me. I had a bad bacterial infection that resulted in a bone in my toe, my left foot being amputated.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, man.
Sorry, bud.
Oh, I'm really sorry about that. Thank you for the great content that kept my spirits up in the hospital. Well, that means a lot to me, and I know John as well too, that you were able to find some joy in a situation like that, and we were able to do it. So thank you, and thank you for again being generous right now. And I'm sorry that happened to you.
Which bone, Crap and Shits? Which bone? I wonder which bone.
Haunted Autumn. What's with the box office reporting this week? Everyone seems to be dodging on Maxine and DM4. The former is the highest opening of the trilogy. Later will be profitable in week 1. What gives? So DM4. Which one is that? Is that the one that I thought it?
Despicable Me 4.
Oh, I did. We talked about it. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? We talked about
Maxine got bad reviews, and just because it opened better, it was expected to, or opened better than the previous two. It was expected to open better than the previous two, and it didn't. It underperformed. It opened more theaters, and so it underperformed. Not dogging, reporting actual facts.
He might have missed it when we covered it. We talked about it for quite a while. Crap and Shits is back. Kristian and John, what's a critically panned and hated movie that's a guilty pleasure for you? Mine's a tie between Postal and Garbage Pail Kids. I mean, does Flash Gordon count? I mean, I guess it's not hated. It's not hated, but it is panned.
It's a cult favorite.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying. There's a movie. Is it not? What's the movie? This Is Where I Leave You. Is that the one with Adam Driver and
Yeah.
Jason Bateman.
They were the family. They're the
Yeah,
family.
I
Yes.
really like that movie. I remember people hating that movie, and I really dug it. I don't know if that's insane. That's what comes to mind. But that's again, when it comes to questions like this, I go through. There's a ton of them that I probably will remember.
A Million Ways to Die in the West. I will defend it till I'm
Oh,
dead.
stop it!
I love that movie. I laughed my ass off at that movie. Liam Neeson with a daisy coming out of his asshole. That's just a perfect thing. So look at it.
Pete Parker, 2288. Kristian, talk about your hot pursuit.
Oh, that movie.
It's a bad movie. Still one of the favorites from those reviews. I
Oh,
blocked it out, man. Blocked it out, Pete, until you brought it up. Yeah,
Ugh.
I never really. I don't think I've ever seen it since I saw it with Mark all those years ago. And it
what a
was
waste of her and Sofia Vergara. That movie.
horrendous,
Ugh.
horrendous movie. The Raven Effect. Worst film that I would destroy is Alien 3.
How dare you?
It's not good, but it's not. I don't think it's the worst. Hate almost everything about it. Honorable mention: The Predator. Which one was The Predator? Is that the one with what's
That was a Shane Black one. The Shane Black.
that's bad. That's a bad movie.
That's a terrible one.
I was so
David Fincher does. There's some nice scenes in Alien 3. Fincher's directing that thing.
he took his name off that movie though.
I don't know about that.
He did. He took his name off of it. Clay Titus. I finally made it to a live show. I've been watching you guys since AMC Movie Talk days. Thanks for all the years of entertainment. Thank you, Clay. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you caught us also. It was a fun show today. Tiberius.
Ew.
Final super chat. Thank you, sir. Name an opening of a film that made you laugh and fall on the ground laughing. My answer is Tropic Thunder. That's a good one. Tropic Thunder. God, I wish Hollywood would make films like this again. Booty Sweat for F the world. It's a good one. I think the South Park the movie has a pretty funny opening, if I remember correctly. At least it Uncle Fucker comes in pretty early, and that one that got me. So that's the first one that I think of.
I would say Ace Ventura. That opening of Ace Ventura has me on the ground every time.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I saw the Ozempic South Park episode over the weekend. That was some funny stuff. If you guys haven't seen that Ozempic episode, it is hilarious.
All right, guys. I think we did it. So I'd like to thank all of you for sending in your questions. John, I want to thank you for being here also. One last plug, man. Tell them where to go.
Come on, hang out with me over on the Outlaw Nation as well. YouTube.com/John Rocha says all the great stuff going there. The Hot Mic, the Jedi Way, the Geek Buddies, my reviews and reactions, the political stuff, sports stuff, all stuff happening there on the Outlaw Nation channel. Come on, hang out with us. And if you want to get on to the podcast feeds, the Cinephiles, very big podcast that I have there, but also the Geek Buddies and the Hot Mic on separate podcast feeds as well. And look for our review of Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon rather, coming later on today. So
and John, this is before you run. This is the one. Philly G. Regarding Snyder's Justice League, according to Cinema Blend, as of right now, it's only showing once August 1st as a part of Snyder's series playing at the Egyptian in LA. So there you go. And then Krapenschitz follows up with you saying, John, the metatarsal in my left foot was infected and had to be removed. By the way, I love A Million Ways to Die in the West. There you go. Okay, so someone else, you guys are the only two. All right, we'll see you guys later. John, peace out, man.
Thanks, brother. Take care, everybody.
Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you to John for being here. And as always, we're here on Mondays. Don't forget, tomorrow, we have a great interview with comedian Sam Morrell, me, and Roxy Stryer. I'm going to have an out-of-the-theater reaction for Fly Me to the Moon, the new Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum movie. And that's it. Man, we got a lot of that's it. That's all I have this entire week. It's not true. We're going to have Acolyte. We're going to have a few more things happening this week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I mentioned to you guys each and every week how important it is. I know that you sometimes you go, oh, yeah. It's so important that if you can support the show and you're able to, and you find one of these sponsors that you like, please get them. We will be doing these shows for a while if you like them. And you respond to them. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. That's it, guys. See you back here tomorrow for the big thing. Peace out.